I've never. Look at that. Look at the thickness. That is a thick slab. Wow. Kind of see me, I guess. Yeah. Tip her down, tip her down. I'll give her a break for a second. That is seriously the think I've ever seen. Thing was like that thick. Probably could have kept it, played it, and didn't. Boots, knock it off. Knock it off. Shut up. Too loud. Yeah, that was seriously the Boots. Do you just have an impulse? You can't like. No, you gotta go back out. Out. Go. Go. Stop it. Go around. Go. Go. Boots, knock it off. We're gonna try a different rubber. What's up, guys? Get out of the way, please. Get out of the way. Move. Thank you. Get out some of this tiny little bit of fishing gear I got. Yeah, it's pretty hot. I just went and wet down the handkerchief, washcloth, headband. You know, the thing that I do almost all my cleaning with. No, just kidding. I just bought a new pack of 2 so that I had one to like blow my nose in, one to wash my feet with, and one to like cool down and wipe the face off with. But dude, I just caught the thickest bluegill I've ever caught in my life in like 32 years of fishing. The thing was like 2 inches thick and the size of my hand. I put it on live actually before I pulled the fish out of the water. So the beginning of this live has a fish being pulled out of the water. But yeah, just to show you guys what I'm looking at right now. Oh, yeah, definitely. So this lake has crappies, bass, some catfish, some food for boots. Yeah, crappie, bluegill, bass, catfish. I think that's all that's in here. Pretty sure. But I only have one stupid little hook, and unfortunately, it's colored. Yeah, I said that. Oh, that's where I put the sweets. I got some old hot dogs, some beef jerky that's been sitting out with the hot dogs, some worm juice up in there too now. But what I caught that slab of a bluegill on, and for the new guy that just joined, I'm talking it was a fatty. And I've been fishing since I was 3 years old. No, not that worm. This little thing. Stuck that on here. Looks like a nice little fly, actually. Not gonna lie. Dude, I don't know what happened. I had 3 hooks. I had this one that actually had like a decent flow of feather on it that I ripped off because I just wanted a bare hook. Then I had a couple other, I don't know where the other 2 went. This, I don't know if y'all can, I don't have my pliers out. This is a hook that I made, I MacGyvered out of the end of a bungee cord. So I'm thinking about throwing this on and seeing how it does. It's kind of a little bit of a circle hook. But I think it's pointy enough. It's gonna be helpful. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's pointy enough to actually go through a fish lip. Um, and it's bigger. I can fit some of a bigger piece of bait on there. I don't really want to go look for worms. It's about to rain. But I do have other colored plastics. I have a whole bag of these. And then somewhere here. Oh. I have a few more plastics. And this is where the other hooks were, but hey, well, hey. I gotta wait. No, I haven't been back by a Walmart or anywhere that would have tick flea stuff, unfortunately. It, the wild part about that is I left Walmart and went to the thrift store that was down the road because I wasn't going to buy a new t-shirt at Walmart. It's just too expensive. And the thrift store down the road, I ended up talking to 3 different ladies for about 2.5, 3 hours. And I walked away from that place with a blessing of $60. And I don't do like backtracking. It's just too tiring, and the whole point of the journey is forward, not backward. So I didn't walk back to Walmart and get some. There will be somebody along my journey that has extra, or um, I'll run into a Walmart or a feed store or something like that along the way where I can stop and get some. I mean, as it is, uh, I have a tent to borrow tonight. I also have a can of Progresso loaded potato soup to have for dinner. I have food, to make that clear. Like, I still have a whole can of Spam, and I have like 6 packets of tuna. So like, I have food. But I was fed spaghetti last night. Um, I was given biscuits and gravy this morning. I got shredded chicken sandwiches for lunch. I'm in Illinois. I'm at a campground right now. I honestly only came here for a shower. It's the first and only place that I've called ahead of like passing through and was like, "Hey, can I stop and have a shower?" Because it's a campground. And without hesitation, the lady was like, "Absolutely, sounds good. You can come for a shower." And when I got here, it's just very peaceful, and like, I'm the only one on this side of the lake. Everybody else is a distance away. I mean, everybody can also see me, but that's okay with me. I do that anyways when I walk into towns when I don't want people worrying about like, oh, where'd the guy with the backpack go? I'll put myself in a visible spot. Yeah, well, um, I have just enough cash to be able to spend 3 nights here. It's $15 a night at water only sites. So I've been charging my battery bank over under the pavilion, but I hope this doesn't come off as like cocky or expecting, but I would not be surprised if somebody took care of my camping for me, or if they just told me not to worry about it. I fully expect to pay for my campsite, but going based on how my journey has been previously, I would not be surprised. This journey is literally by the grace of God and by the grace of others. You know, I'm just a guy. I don't deserve anything that happens to me. What do you think, Sir Smokes, of that? I gotta drag it through the water to see how it actually looks. Yeah, there's supposed to be some rain tonight and then tomorrow, but it's like middle of the night, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. type rains. And yeah. I mean, I'm not out here blaring music. Trying to keep my dog quiet. He's a little bit difficult when we get into situations like this, because he still thinks it's his job to alert me about like these people driving behind me on their golf carts. And I had to explain to him that this is their home, not his, and they're fine. He's right. Boots, my goots, Boots. Oh, okay. What's crazy, dude? Look at the water in front of me. Since this is a private lake, there's like in abundance. You can walk the shoreline. Yeah. Well, a lot of people live here like full time, except for I think in the winter. But yeah, so golf carts around campground constantly, because there's like one side, a little camp on one side of the lake, and then on the other. So people are constantly going back and forth, talking to each other. Oh yeah, you're resting on his food. But the water is just constantly boiling in front of me. That's why I figured I'd throw on the MacGyver hook made from a bungee. Well, so Tamra brought me, they're over there. I'm not getting them out of like bacon treats for him this morning. I was fishing. Well, I actually went over to the pavilion to like start charging my battery bank this morning, and I just figured I'd bring the fishing pole. So I was fishing over there, and I saw her car come over to camp, and then she turned around. And all of a sudden she pulled up over there and she had biscuits and gravy for me, and then went back to her car and was like, I have a treat for you too, Boots. And um, ended up giving me a bag of treats for him. Then she gave me an orange and a banana. I wish I had my own fishing pole right now. Like, I took the reel apart on this one. Actually, I should probably do it again while I'm sitting here, because I didn't actually put any Vaseline in it. But its action isn't smooth. Like, the bail doesn't actually close when you start reeling, and it sticks. There you go. But yeah, I mean, like, some people, there was a guy on his boat this morning just trolling around. I'm not sure what he caught, but let's give this a try. Let's see if we can catch. We'll set you up. Yeah, you like how I'm like two different shades? If any of y'all have been watching since from the time that I met Dylan, this is why me and Dylan are not walking together anymore, because I don't believe he has it in him to be calm. He's got to be moving all the time, and for me, this is part of what this journey is about. Walking across America is not only to test myself, to say I walk that many miles with my dog. There's a part of that, but also to find places of peace like this. Um, Everybody's been very welcoming to me. Now, if I used his 24-hour rule, I would have showered. I wouldn't even have stayed here. I would have just showered and left. It works. Except for I gotta set the hook better. Son of a. Well, the second I threw it in there, my final stop. I don't know. My final stop is where I find peace. However, I really do like Missouri. Missouri's a cool little Cool little state. Cheap property. And also, yeah, caught some fish on a janky rod that's been sitting out in the weather for like a year and a half that has no lube in the bearings whatsoever. Yeah, 100%. I would say that that's exactly what my take on this situation, like walking into the campground, just seeing how peaceful and quiet it was, to be able to take a stop that, like, yeah, like I said, like people can watch me and I'm out in the open, but I paid to be here. It's okay for me to be here. I don't have to worry about somebody calling the cops on me because I got a backpack and I look out of place. Let's go after the lure. Nope. That's supposed to be our rain cloud. This is what I mean too. What's going on? It's such a janky reel, and I'm using 20 pound test too because everything in my pack has a double use, right? So I got 20 pound test to use on things like my backpack coming apart, and at some point here I'm gonna sew that up using fishing line. Yeah, I got the one about Dylan. I don't have much to say about him. Um, he actually tried to get on here and comment on a few of my videos and be like, he's not who you think he is. I'm exactly the person that's talking to you right now. Is the same person that talks to everybody I meet along the journey. Um, If I was younger, I might have gotten angry and done something, but it's just not worth it. It doesn't prove anything if I can beat him up or he can beat me up, I guess. I am sad. I'm out. And there's a rainstorm coming tonight. Ah, your ear tickles, bro. Is that a 1? Oh yeah, that is 1. Kobe. That's okay to say now, right? I'm just gonna put a good old circle on the circle hook and see what comes of it. Oh, I got the bobber in my pocket. All right. This is how we doing it. Just a good old hot dog on a hook. Wait, the hot dogs float when they're like that? Yeah, no. I wasn't gonna get on here and end up like trying to defend myself. There was nothing to defend. I live streamed most of that argument, so um, it is what it is. I haven't taken it down. I'm not afraid of what happened. It is what it is. If I was scared of people's perception of me, I would not have put myself on the internet. It's one thing that I don't get about a lot of people is that like well, I guess I understand it for the younger generation, the younger crowd. Like, got to do all these things to be liked and be successful. Hey, there's something nibbling on the hook. You know what I should do? There's catfish in here, and I got that hook. That hook's probably strong enough to bring in a catfish. I should just throw that chunk on there without a bobber and see what happens. Next cast. I don't even remember what I was saying. That's fine. It's unimportant. Huh. Would you look at that? Maybe a tinier piece of hot dog on a smaller hook would do. You guys probably can't see the bobber there. Bobber. Yeah. Right there. But literally everything I tell you guys, I tell people to their face. Put one foot in front of the other. Progress doesn't always look like progress. That's I got stuck talking to those ladies at the Red Door thrift store. One of them was the mayor's wife, actually, but I had the same conversations with them, telling them what I tell all of you. Progress doesn't always look like progress. Put one foot in front of the other. Everybody can look at me right now and be like, this guy ain't walking across the country. He's sitting at a campground. He could be walking. He could be making miles. Miles aren't necessarily my goal. Miles are secondary to what I'm doing. That's a good idea. I was thinking about starting a fire here in a second too. Ooh, I could show you all how fast I start a fire. Apparently, I'm really fast at starting fires. I don't. That's what my little brother down in Arkansas says. My new little brother that I met on this journey. I just wish I had an actual bigger hook to do catfishing with, because I could throw on a bigger chunk of hot dog. And it would probably hook better than my MacGyvered hook that I have. But I can always try and catch one on this too. Throw this back on and just tie the hot dog to the hook. Oh, it looks like the stormy weather is pulling in. I almost lit my treehouse on fire when I was a kid. Actually, that was my first major injury in life, was falling out of the tree fort that we were building. And it was like 14, 15 feet up, and I landed on my back and had a baseball-sized knot next to my spine. It's part of the reason that I have lower back issues to this day. But I brought gasoline up into that treehouse after we had finished it, and ended up spilling the gasoline while I was playing with the little tiny fire that I was trying to make. And yeah, the floor of the place kind of went up. Luckily, I had a piece of, one of those like square rug pieces of carpets or whatever. Threw that over the fire and it went out. But had I not had that carpet up there, we could be having a completely different conversation. I may not even be here, and or I may be burned beyond belief. I was going to say recognition, but y'all would recognize me as the guy that burnt himself in his treehouse. Yeah, I almost lit my bed on fire one time too with matches. I was underneath it playing with them, lighting them just to smell them. I've done a lot of stupid stuff as a kid. Fireworks were my other joy. Whee! See, the water is so active around here, like... all those ripples. That was from a fish that just jumped. I literally watched a bass get eaten, or a little sunfish get eaten by a bass the other day when I was walking across my first day here yesterday. I was checking out the beach to see if I'd be able to do any work for them and how much work I actually thought it would be. And a bass ate a fish right in front of me. Never seen that happen. But there again, like if I didn't choose to be present here, if I didn't choose to just take a rest, I would have walked right away from this place. And then I'd be sitting, well, I'd probably be almost 20 miles away from here at this point. But I'd still be within the rain range and having to figure out a good spot to shelter in the rain inside of a town isn't the easiest. You can get away with parks sometimes. When I was walking with Dylan, we stayed at a park in the center of town. I don't think anybody knew we were there. We were kind of stealthy about it, but it's just, those are hassles that I like to try and avoid. The less I have to like be on the defensive end of and telling people what I'm doing, the better. I mean, the truth is like, since I've talked to a cop in this town, he'll probably let his cop buddies know, because I told him which way I was headed when I leave here. He'll probably let his cop buddies in the next town know, like, hey, you got a guy walking through, just leave him be. I'm not positive that the fire chief did that for me, or wouldn't have done that for me. But my guess is if Mike knew that I was going to be walking from his little town to Raymondsville, he would have let people know ahead of time. Actually, I do know that he called the fire chief of Licking, Missouri, and let him know that we were in town, that he had dropped us off there, and that we were walking the country. I do know he did that. That was pretty cool. All right, I don't think there's a bait on that. Hook anymore. But we're going to check, and I'm going to throw in a bigger piece. She's still there. She's big. We're still going to throw on the bigger piece. We're still throwing on the bigger piece. There. Chonky, chonky. It didn't work. I threw the hot dog quite far though. Hold on. Oh, it's starting to sprinkle. And my phone's cracked. We gotta go to the tent. Book first. Run, 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 dee, run, 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 run. Run, run, run. Okay, yeah. So, look at how spacious this tent is. There's so much room for activities and stuff. Yeah. Wanda and what's his name? Just kidding. That's not green. Yeah, it is. I lied. Boots! Boots my goots! What's up, dude? You want to go in the tent? Not yet. We have to secure the tarp over the table because I'm not picking everything up. Reason 647 that tarps are versatile. I can cover everything on the table. And truthfully, if somebody didn't borrow me the tent, this may actually have been my shelter setup for the night. The way the bench is set up, there's a decent amount of headroom in there. The tarp covers majority of the bench, and it would be enough room for me and Boots to crawl up under there and stay dry, and all my stuff's just sitting on the table and it'll be dry too. So for some people they'd be like, oh, they'd be so uncomfortable, but the comfortable part about like being out here and doing this kind of stuff is also knowing that like your stuff is safe and secure and dry. I mean, also you and your dog, right? But mainly, if your stuff gets wet, you're screwed for a few days. Somebody gave me a pile of firewood and fire starter last night, so I'm gonna throw that under. And just like that. Now all I have to do is go in the tent if it actually starts raining. Let's try that hot dog thing again. All right, let's try that one more time. I'm used to fishing like the Minnesota. The Minnesota River, which is much different. Yeah, much different than out here. But here, watch the lake for a second. What have we got? Nothing. My pole's not on the ground, so. I'm at a private lake in Illinois. Hiya! Son of a... Jeez. Damn it. Damn it, Bobby. Oh. It's crazy how many subscribers I've been gaining to on like a daily basis. It tells me that there's a lot of people out there that like needed the inspiration, needed the encouragement. I know I did. For me, it was people like Will Survives and Lightly. I wish I went and did what he's doing when I was young like him. And then Sean Gatz. I'm not a huge fan of like what he does with his OnlyFans now, but like in the beginning when I started seeing his content on YouTube, I liked the fact that he went out and found a way to raise $11,000 to buy a piece of property in New Mexico, and did that. Lived in a gazebo while he was building the property up himself. Like all of that was encouraging to me to see other people do it. I was like, fuck, I can go do that. If they can do it, I can do it. Not only that, but people needed to be shown a different way to be quote-unquote homeless, how to get out of it. I should probably rerun some of those old videos. Now that I got a little bit higher of a subscriber rate and viewership. Surprisingly, my female viewership keeps going up. What are you doing? Get over here. Quit taking the logs. Quit trading. No. Yeah, if they were gonna let me do any work around here, I'd say they should let me like sand some of these picnic tables. Sand them and paint them, or sand them and stain them. That's what I did at one of the last campgrounds that I stayed at, was painted some of his benches and took some trees down with the chainsaw, helped him move like 5 or 6 trailer loads, big trailer loads of brush and trees and whatnot. Because he had RVs going through his property just like this. They didn't have anything built over top of them, but they had to make sure that branches were out of the way. And holy crap, I just realized that they have 3 trees going through their roof. And yeah, that's a giraffe. It's actually really cool. People are so smart sometimes. I've been wondering what they've been doing for the last day, but it looks like they were putting gaskets around the tree that would allow the tree to sway but not mess up their roof and keep the rain out. Tricky stuff. I only know about doing all that because of the tree house that I fell out of. They have like a muskrat or something in here that was flopping all around last night. It was tripping boots out. It was fucking hilarious. This is the first time that he's been like this close to water with fish and other animals visible. I was like, what is going on? Why are there splashes in the water? He's been kind of a nervous Nelly. The last couple of days, I'm not entirely sure why. But I know that CBD don't give you munchies. I might actually try a shot of the CBD tincture. It says it's for dogs, but it literally just says place drops in mouth and swallow. But dogs can't read, so who are the instructions for? If I'm reading instructions, it should say use as needed. Place drops in the dog's mouth and rub throat to force them to swallow. But it says place drops in mouth and swallow. Ah, it's sprinkling again. developed by doctors. Says one serving size is 1 dropper. Industrial hemp oil, 1 gram. Cannabinoid isolate, 20 milligrams. This is cool and all, but there's actually some stuff that I really do want to get. M&G. I don't know. It's the same. I think I was talking to you about this before, Sir Smokes a Lot, but there's a website called Boston Hemp. And if you get on there, they have like waxes and shatters and all that, obviously. But the one thing they have that I've never seen anywhere else was THCA isolate powder. That's 99.1% pure or something like that. That's what I really want, because then I can just take a little tiny bit and roll it up in a cigarette. And I don't have to worry about like it smelling like weed. It doesn't take up a lot of space. I don't need a grinder. But I don't know. Apparently the guy that I asked about it, he said, dude, that stuff will wreck you if it's that pure. So I don't know. Maybe just like coke smoke it. Oh, here's the drizzles. Tent time. It's tent time. I don't think there's anything I need in there. Oh, yeah. It's raining. All right, come on, dog. Oh, jeez. Come on. No. Really? You're stupid. You're supposed to get out that way. Come on, it really gets wet. Let's go. Get in here. Go. But, whoa. Who knew you could zoom on front screen mode? I gotta finish my cigarette because I ain't smoking in there. Can you see it? All the little raindrops. Well, this is kind of unfortunate. Ugh. Holy crap. Way bigger than I expected. Keith, you don't need to be at my stuff. Alright. Come on out. Give me your leash. Good boy. Lay your pretty self down somewhere. See, I said lay down somewhere. Not on all the blankets. Here, you get over on this one. Go lay down. And there you go. Now we're in the tent. Unfortunately, I think I lost the stand. The circle part to my thing, but it still has a hinge and I can still move it around. Where's my t-shirt? Not a t-shirt, but my trusty Smiley. There we go. Ugh. So yeah, dinner tonight. Loaded potato. I was hoping the weather was going to actually do what the weather said it was going to do. Because if the weather did what it said it was going to do, I was actually going to cook up that Spam that I have and throw it in with the loaded potato. But I just have I want to know how long that can of Spam is gonna last. Like, it's not bad meat. It's just very high in sodium, and I'm a texture person. The texture of it does not do for me. Oh. Breaking news. Judge rules prosecutor. Uh-oh, my battery's at 15%.